I've been casting with Mim, of course, so you might be coming directly from his stream. But yeah, there we are. Now the chat's here as well. What to expect from these guys? Dziamdziak's playing with Persians, FreakinAndy's playing with Portuguese. Now this is a very interesting civilization choice for Dziamdziak specifically, because Persians, they do get twice the HP on TCs and dogs. And the TCs are packed up at the very beginning and the players need to unpack these. However, TC War is banned for this map, and I believe for any Nomad or pack TC start map. So it's not really possible for Dziamdziak to unpack the TC within range of FreakinAndy, at the very least not knowingly, and even if it was unknowingly, they would have to restart. So you're not going to see the Persian bonus over there come to play too much. Instead, we'll see the extra food, the extra wood come to play, as it's going to be easier for the orange player. Actually, for the gray player over here. I think we're going to be switching player colors in a moment, but yeah, it's going to be easier for the gray player to go for water, right? Going for fish and ships, potentially going for navy units once they get to the village. But for the time being, let me fix the scoreboard over here. We're gonna try and make this a little bit more readable. We're gonna be using blue for Dziamdziak and red for FreakinAndy. So there we are. And what to expect then? FreakinAndy's going over to the center now. He's got the transport ship over here, but he already had transported the pack TC. He's unpacking it right next to the stone. And right now he's just transporting the villagers over. Well, if we take a look at the left-hand side, well, at the center rather, we'll see that the TCs are already out. Probably at about the same time. Both players kind of struggling to keep the TCs going as well. It's going to be a pretty even game, I would assume. But yeah. The extra TC is already up for FreakinAndy up in the north. The extra TC is already up for actually for... yeah, FreakinAndy on the right-hand side, and then for Dziamdziak up in the north. And that's about it for these guys. An outpost comes out for FreakinAndy, and he knows now that Dziamdziak's there. And Dziamdziak, well, he should know that FreakinAndy is there too. He's just not really done too much yet. He's not really gone for an outpost himself, right? Regardless... Dziamdziak now is chasing that transport unit away from FreakinAndy. That's not going to do too much. I am kind of tempted to 2x the very beginning stages of these games, just for the chance of potentially getting through both series today, and hopefully be completely done with double cup 3s, sorry, current week worth of games today, so that we can cast both series today, as opposed to just going standard speed. So I guess we're gonna do that. This is only so that we can cover both sets today, even if the sets are somewhat longish. We're just going to ever so slightly fast forward until we get to the fuel age and we get players starting to go for units. But anyway, what to expect on this one? I am liking FreakinAndy, not gonna lie. Dziamdziak, he's a very strong player himself as well, but I think FreakinAndy's got probably, I would say, a few steps on top of Dziamdziak. In terms of the leaderboard, it's probably going to be significantly better for FreakinAndy if we are to compare both these players' elos. Yeah, the players are struggling to garrison the villages. You can do it, but it's a little bit more difficult. It's not going to be quite as straightforward as having your usual TCs. Anyway, village is already here for FreakinAndy. He will go out to the castle age right away. We'll see Dziamdziak get to the fuel age and most likely try to push for the castle age as well. The players are going to start going for some navy units though. We will get some action, even if the players are still trying to pursue a fast castle, both of these. Oh, tower coming out from Dziamdziak. That's a beautiful one. Let's go back to 1x now as we get some action already. So this is really good. Dziamdziak pushes FreakinAndy away from the center. And then on the right hand side, see the transport ship from Dziamdziak transporting some buffaloes around. Unlikely to do too much over here. Hey Timbrick, thank you for casting with me. Dude, I screwed up massively. I opened my OBS while I was casting. I did not pay attention to it whatsoever, right? I was full focus on casting. So I put record and then I minimized OBS until I was done, right? And then I realized that because of the new way that I set up the audio for my streams these days, I have no audio from me whatsoever. So I have a 3.5 hours, what is that? No, probably more like 4 hours. I have a 4-hour recording of me talking alone to capture it, and that's not going to be good for YouTube, so I screwed up. Next time I'll know better, but yeah, this is kind of a... I guess it's kind of rip. Then on the left-hand side, we see the cast stage come out for Dziamdziak. Significantly later compared to FreakinAndy, though. So yeah, I was kind of hoping to upload at the very least my point of view to YouTube. And well, that's not really going to be possible anymore unless I manage to somehow grab maybe the audio from Mim's stream and just take the voice, which is going to require some AI or some sort of specialized program for that, which I do not really have access to right now, but I'll probably investigate. The bad thing though is that I wanted to have the first series of the day go up tomorrow already on YouTube, so it kind of hurts not being able to do it right away, or at the very least I'll need to just spend a lot of extra time today just trying to fix the audio. We'll see though. Regardless, Castle H here from FreakinAndy. He's been collecting stone. He's got a castle coming up on the center, and that is a huge one. Even with twice the HP, Dziamdziak's TC won't hold a candle against the castle from FreakinAndy, and so far, things are looking good for the red player, even if he's behind a military count. For the most part, that's going to be Navy units from Dziamdziak. He's pushing the fishing ships away from FreakinAndy already. Nice. Fantastic. We'll see an extra TC come out for Dziamdziak. This one is kind of a gunner, so I understand he wants to go for an additional one elsewhere, and this is going to compensate for the fact that this TC is most likely going down very soon. Up in the north, he still has the unpacked TC, so that's going to put him to 3 TCs until he loses the center one eventually, and that's going to bring him back down to 2. However, FreakinAndy, he keeps on mining stone over here, so might be able to go for a second castle sometime soon. Dziamdziak instead, he's not been collecting stone too much. He's got knights out in the open. He's gonna keep on going for a few more, as well as some fire galleys on the way for Dziamdziak too. It's very interesting overall. There we go. Nice raids over here coming out from Dziamdziak. Should be able to get a villager down. Nice quick walls from FreakinAndy. And so far, the player that I was expecting the most of is struggling the most himself. FreakinAndy, at the very least, managed to get the war galley upgrade up. So now he's got fire ships as opposed to fire galleys and might end up pushing Dziamdziak away. But that's about it. There we go. Beautiful unit control over here from Dziamdziak. Despite fighting against stronger units, ends up getting the better deal. Then on the left hand side, Dziamdziak's gonna keep on raiding around. He ends up losing a knight to the conversion, takes the monk down though. So it's not quite as cost effective for FreakinAndy. Still good though. We'll see organ guns coming out from the red player. So what does Andy have to do to take the lead in this game? I'm surprised that he was not targeting the TC. Now he's doing so. He's been targeting the TC by a little bit, it seems, given the lack of HP for this TC. But it's going to take some time, so instead he needs to roam around and start getting the raids going, because FreakinAndy will still be effectively with 2 TCs against 3 TCs from Dziamdziak. So he needs to compensate for that by going for extra military units, roaming around and trying to get the raids going. If he does not take advantage of it, then Dziamdziak starts pulling ahead. Nice conversion over there though from FreakinAndy. Still loses the monk once again, but still cost effective for him. It doesn't seem like Dziamdziak can keep on putting too much pressure anymore, so FreakinAndy's starting to stabilize. He's getting villagers down though! Close to the center. The Knight's going down over here as well. Good unit control from FreakinAndy. Well done. Starting to compensate for the lack of TCs over here with his military control. Taking the villagers down allows him to keep up for the most part. Otherwise, it wouldn't be anywhere near. And Dziamdziak will be pulling a much stronger lead at this point already, but FreakinAndy's put himself in a good spot. Now the worker count is dead even for both these guys. FreakinAndy went for the 30 TC himself as well. Yeah, good unit control for FreakinAndy so far. Here we go. Beautiful. FreakinAndy is going to end up getting water control on the right hand side. He needs to keep on putting pressure though. Where are the organ guns? Yeah, that's a... Wow! What happened to the organ guns? It's gone down to only one. It seems like Dziamdziak was able to take these down for the most part. Amazing. FreakinAndy starting to pull a little bit of a lead over here in terms of overall population, even if he ended up losing the organ guns, and the extra villagers certainly help. More organ guns coming out, and now this is what I want to see. I don't want to see FreakinAndy sleeping on his laurels. I want to see him just keep on putting pressure. This is what allowed him to catch up. If he keeps on roaming around with a few organ guns over here, he's gonna start pulling ahead significantly so. For the time being, it's a little bit of a struggle in terms of defense, and let's take a look at this. Dziamdziak's got some knights. Getting over to FreakinAndy's wood line, and FreakinAndy's not paying attention over here though whatsoever, although he was targeting the knight with a monk over there. He didn't realize that the lumberjacks might be exposed, and now they are. And now the knights might end up getting a few villager picks over here, although the monks over there provide some protection. In the end, FreakinAndy is holding on just fine, just pushing the knights away with the monks. He's got another castle coming up on the back of Dziamdziak's 30 CISO. The red player, all of a sudden, has managed to start pulling a respectable lead. He's got a knight over here to clean out these villagers with. Try to anyway, although one of the monks go down. And it seems like Dziamdziak's going to end up still getting a few villagers over here from FreakinAndy if he's paying attention. But there's too much going on everywhere right now. The organ guns up in the north are putting pressure against the villagers. We had a little bit of an engagement over here with knights against the organ guns, plus we have the mantle over here for the bull player to control as well. And then it seems like finally in the south, Dziamdziak realized about this. He's got the knights over there. Is gonna end up taking a bunch of villagers down from FreakinAndy. Well done. There we are. FreakinAndy gets pushed back. Kind of risky for him to even go back to the wool line the way he did. And third castle on the way for FreakinAndy. He's got 15 stone miners. He's not stopping at this. He's got right now 21 extra villagers, so he's got 15 stone miners and still has a stronger economy compared to Dziamdziak in spite of this. So he'll be able to go for extra TC. He's gonna be able to go for extra castle, sorry, while still getting ahead in economy by quite a lot. So things are looking great. There we are, and good defense over here as well from FreakinAndy. He's looking fantastic. He's got fletching right now, which is going to help the castle, of course, and those knights are going down. These castles, fletching also will increase the punch, the castle's back, and FreakinAndy is going for another castle very soon, and he's gonna try to locate this such a way that Dziamdziak won't be able to keep on collecting resources over here anymore as the players were, for the most part, collecting resources from the north and the east of the island. So Dziamdziak gets pushed away from here. There might not be a way back, and he's been collecting stone quite a lot as well, but doesn't have enough to go for a counter castle, and FreakinAndy is getting the castle up. Absolutely fantastic position over here. We see some villagers in the night come over from Dziamdziak, as well as a tower over there to try and deny this one. But if FreakinAndy plays his cards right, he should be able to get the castle up for sure. He's got enough villagers over here. Even if the tower comes up over here, it's not going to be fast enough from Dziamdziak. The mountains might change the things though, might make a difference. However, your guns targeting the mountains will end up taking the mountains down. And we'll still have a very small amount of villagers over here left for FreakinAndy, but the castle's coming up anyway, and it comes up. FreakinAndy, 26 workers ahead now compared to Dziamdziak, with a much larger military count as well on the blue player. Without stopping that castle, it's gonna be left an almost no map to keep on playing with, so he calls it GG. And that's gonna be 1-0 in favor of FreakinAndy, the Austrian player, against Dziamdziak. Let's go through the achievements. Before jumping into game number 2, as we have recorded games over here, we'll be going for game after game. For the achievements, we see for military a stronger KD for FreakinAndy, getting about 7 to 6 KD ratio. For economy, a stronger economy for FreakinAndy with about 700 extra resources will of course allow FreakinAndy to go for the extra castles he went for. And this is fueled by a much higher worker count, so overall, things were looking pretty good for the red player. There we are. There's a little bit of a stutter over here as OBS is acting up once again. I'm sorry about this. Let me take a look to see. Yeah, it's just freaking OBS taking 92% of GPU right now. I'm not really sure why it does this sometimes. So it's kind of stuttering. I'm just going to pause this until OBS gets... Okay, there we go. I guess that's probably... Alright. No, it's still stuttering quite a bit. Once again, I'm sorry about this. I'm really sure this is something that they have fixed in the next version. There is an update that I did not update to yet. I'm going to try to do that after the stream today to see if that fixes it. But for the time being, we just need to wait a little bit until OBS realizes he doesn't actually need 90% of GPU and goes down to 30%, which is where it belongs. Oh, we're going to remove the Warlord's logo over here, by the way. I did the entirety of game number 1 with Warlords on over there. Oh my lord. Okay, there we go. OBS got attacked together. Let's go. It was all the logo, you see? It was letting me know that something was wrong. But anyway, for game number 2, Dziamdziak's on the left-hand side towards the north, and FreakinAndy's on the right-hand side towards the south. We have Bulgarians from Dziamdziak. We have Hindustanis for FreakinAndy. Now, we have seen Bulgarians on this map several times before, and there is a reason why they are strong, and they are very much favored here. First off, Dziamdziak Civilization is going to give him free militia line upgrades, which means that the man-at-arms, the lone swordsman, and the 200 swordsman upgrades will come for free for Bulgarians. In addition to that, we get a food discount on blacksmith and siege workshop upgrades as well. There we go. Beautiful. As well as for Bulgarians, on top of that, we're gonna get for them also a discount on TCs, on the stone cost of TCs, which is quite good. Of course, you can go for up to 4 TCs with 200 stone. And for the team bonus, they get faster work in blacksmiths. Meanwhile, for a FreakinAndy Civilization, the Hindustanis will benefit from cheaper villages with 10, 15, 20, and 25% cheaper villagers. They will benefit from +1/+1 armor on gunpowder units. They will benefit from +25% faster attacking camel rider units, and in addition to that, we also see for Hindustanis for the team bonus damage from camel rider units and light cover units against buildings +2. One thing that FreakinAndy won't benefit from though, by the looks of it, is the jaguar meat, because in this map you can hunt the jaguars and collect meat from it. So you can see the jaguar is going to contain a good amount of meat, and Dziamdziak's going to collect from all of the jaguars before going to berries eventually. While FreakinAndy doesn't seem like he realized about this. He's just been going for berries for the most part, and now I think he's going to realize after the jaguars go down and the villagers automatically start collecting food from them. FreakinAndy will realize about this, but it's too late. And he's already making a play for the center fish anyway. So, Dziamdziak has managed to get some extra resources for free over here by collecting from the Jaguars. And eventually he's going to make the transition to berries. While FreakinAndy will be the first one running out of the starting berries. He's going to be the first one making a play for the center fish. And then eventually he's going to have to transition the villagers over to the center a little bit earlier. So, is this good? It might be good. Even if it was inadvertently for FreakinAndy. Just having or being forced to send your villagers over to the center earlier might actually end up helping him, as the players will fight with claws and teeth over control of the center. Hey Umut Balkan. Hi. So did you guys enjoy the series from Warlords today? I did not stream my point of view, but I was go-casting with Memb. And tomorrow we are going to resume Warlords coverage starting 14 GMT. We're gonna have 4 series tomorrow, 4 series on Sunday as well. So I hope you're looking forward to it as well. Many of the series tomorrow, as I already stated on Mem's stream, I'm very much looking forward to. Hey Mr. Whitebeard, hi. There we go, Fuel H is coming up now for Dziamdziak. FreakinAndy's going up to the Fuel H a little bit later, so this probably comes from the extra food that Dziamdziak collected from the Jaguars over there. I think it's a faster food source compared to berries. So no wonder he's the first one to go up, but this does come at a cost as well. Dziamdziak is going up on a much smaller amount of workers compared to FreakinAndy, and when both players get to the Fuel H, the worker count's going to be higher for FreakinAndy because he's gone up on a much lower amount of idle TC time, so that should amount for about 2 villagers, actually more like 3 villagers worth of extra idle TC time for Dziamdziak, and FreakinAndy is looking good. 6 extra villagers right now. By the time he gets to the village, it's gonna be 3 villagers ahead still. Nice. We have Men-at-Arms now from Dziamdziak. This was a militia before. He gets the Man-at-Arms upgrade for free, and FreakinAndy, he's gotta be careful. Still about 35 seconds away from the Fuel H. Might end up getting targeted by the units over here, not being able to do too much except just fighting with the villagers, which is always risky. Especially as we have more than 1 Man-at-Arms right now, but that's not the best location for Dziamdziak to try and pick up a fight. So FreakinAndy is holding on just fine. And by the looks of it, seems like FreakinAndy will be able to push, ward off Dziamdziak's push over here, right? He's pushing the units back. Well done. As the third Man-at-Arms comes over from Dziamdziak, we'll see FreakinAndy go for a archer range. Fantastic. Beautiful quick walls for FreakinAndy as well. Well done. And Dziamdziak tries to get a tower up over here. FreakinAndy was already going for a defensive tower regardless. Now if he brings the villagers over, he should be able to take this one or to get this one up. Well done. Extra walls. And it's alright now. What I'm wondering though is how much fish are we going to have left inside this little pocket that FreakinAndy is trying to build for himself. Only about 2 fish. That is not good. Dziamdziak's coming in, he's got the Minotaurs, he's got the Scouts coming up right now, so now the villagers start to crumble from FreakinAndy, and Dziamdziak, who seemed to be the better prepared player for this map, seemed to be familiar with the unique working of the map as well, seems to be the one taking advantage of that knowledge. He's getting a hit significantly now, and the villager count, while it was looking better for FreakinAndy before, is now significantly favoring Dziamdziak. With a higher worker count, a higher military count, Dziamdziak will push FreakinAndy away from the center and thus will get a massive lead. How so? Because of all the fish. Take a look at that. You don't get access to the center. You don't get access to 79 freaking shorefish. That's gonna be more than 15,000 resources for free. Without having to pay wood for farms. Without having to endure through the inefficiency of berries collection, right? Which it seems like FreakinAndy already ran out of berries. So far, looking fantastic for Dziamdziak, and we'll see if he can keep this momentum, if he can seal the deal, most importantly, as we also saw some momentum from Dziamdziak in the previous game, but he struggled to seal the deal. And allowed FreakinAndy with enough time to come back into the game. Here we go. So between this series and potentially the second series we'll cast after this one, which one would you be looking forward to the most? We have Dziamdziak versus FreakinAndy, yes. But then there's another one. There is ACCM versus Uzi, I believe. No, VV versus Uzi, my bad. Which will be the second series that we'll cast today if this one does not go too long. By the looks of it though, Dziamdziak's looking much stronger in game number 2, and if he ends up taking this one, we're gonna get a 4-game series at the very least, and it might be a little bit too long to cast 2 sets in a row, but we'll try, and hopefully we'll manage. I think for game number 3, we're gonna try to fast forward the Dark Age a little bit. Not too much, just 2x. Nice defense for FreakinAndy. And Dziamdziak now is finally taking advantage of the center control. Take a look at that. It's got about 29 villagers. Still was on the way now for Dziamdziak as well. It's gonna be the 3rd one for him, so he'll be able to go for a pretty strong night production once he gets to the castle age, and you can see that he's trying to go up by taking a look at his resources. Meanwhile, FreakinAndy was kind of housed over there for a moment. He's trying to get back at Dziamdziak at the centers, bringing the archers forward. Dziamdziak's reaction is swift. So he loses 1 villager and no more. It doesn't seem like he's going to end up losing much more than that. Although we do not really have any towers at hand over here though, you know what? Dziamdziak might end up losing more than 1 villager actually. That's the 2nd one going down. And we're gonna see a 3rd village going down, then another one bites the dust. And will we get 4 villagers down from Dziamdziak? Not quite, the scouts are coming out and might have delayed his castle age a little bit, but he's gonna be on his way up anyway. And he's able to take the archers down for the most part, so it's looking great. So guys, let me know, is everything working alright with the stream? Is the audio okay? Is the video okay? It seems on my end, and that the bitrate's good. So let me know. And next year, if everything goes well and Twitch adapts AV1 and we get a new GPU, we might even increase the video quality further as well. Looks good to me. Thank you, Raymond Barth. Appreciate it. Guess it should be on the way for FreakinAndy very soon as well. Okay for me? Perfect. Thank you guys. There we go. Castle Age is finally on the way for FreakinAndy. Dziamdziak, once he gets up with Bulgarians, will be kind of forced into knights only. He could go for more men at arms and get the Lone Swordsman upgrade for free, but of course the map is very extensive over here, so the mobility of the knights is very hard to compensate for, so he's gotta go for it. Right now he's been going for a good amount of scouts, so by the time he gets to the castle age, the light cavalry upgrade is a no-brainer, and then he can start adding some knights into the mix on top of the dawn. But honestly, with about 15, soon to be 18, soon to be like cavalry, Dziamdziak's momentum over here is very strong, and FreakinAndy is struggling big time. Down the south, he's gotten the walls up around the lumberjacks, but it seems to me like he already overchopped on the left-hand side, if I'm not mistaken. I think so. And then on the right-hand side, yeah, he doesn't really have any lumberjacks over here anymore. He's just banking on gold and food to keep his economy going over here, so like our upgrades coming out for Dziamdziak, and very soon he'll be able to even dive underneath the TCs and get any villagers FreakinAndy might not be able to gather. So unfortunately for the red player, he's got exactly 15 farmers over here, and so long as he keeps the walls up around the gold, he's gonna be fine. Down the south though, That is not good for Dziamdziak. Tried to get the raids going, couldn't get away with any damage, and FreakinAndy realized about the overchop, so he's fine. Although he's going to overchop on the right-hand side by the looks of it in a moment. So far, Dziamdziak's been struggling to do enough damage over here, and even though FreakinAndy managed to keep up with worker count, which is nothing short of miraculous at this stage, he's getting to the castle edge significantly later. His economy is not anywhere near as effective as Dziamdziak's if you take a look at the amount of idle villagers that FreakinAndy's got right now. And the blue player is certainly the one in the driver's seat over here as FreakinAndy calls the GG. 22 minutes into the game, Dziamdziak equalizes this in game number 2, and we get a 4-game series guaranteed. Let's go through the achievements really quickly before we jump into game number 3. So what do we get? A better KD for Dziamdziak, very close to 3-2. Not quite, but very close. For economy, we have a stronger economy for Dziamdziak with about 400 extra resources. We take a look at society, we're going to see a stronger worker count for Dziamdziak towards the end of the game. And it was not by a huge margin. As a matter of fact, the villager max count was higher for Dziamdziak, but at the end of the game, it was 61 villagers for both these guys. It's just that Dziamdziak did not lose quite as many villagers as FreakinAndy, as the red player ended up losing 19. Dziamdziak ended up losing only 6. Actually, what am I talking about? Only 14, sorry. Let's take a look at APM. Nice. Seems like OBS is not acting up this time around, so thankfully, we can just jump into it. We're gonna see Dziamdziak over to the blue color once again, and FreakinAndy in the red color, so it's easier to see. And taking a look at the map over here, for anybody who might not be familiar with Snake Pit, the players will begin with TCs interleaved, so surrounded by enemy TCs, and surrounding enemy TCs, right? So this TC down the south from Dziamdziak is surrounded by FreakinAndy's TCs. But then it's also surrounding FreakinAndy's TCs once you take the other TC into consideration. So it's a very interesting layout. At the very left, or towards the northwest, we're going to have a lot of hunting. That I imagine both these players are going to be very keen of, given that both are playing with Mongols, right? Although we might see a villager go down over here, not quite. Dziamdziak's unable to get the villager down, and FreakinAndy's going for 2 boars at the same time. This is really good. FreakinAndy is no stranger to playing Black Forest, so he'll certainly be one to go after multiple boar lures over here because it's not too difficult for him. And take a look at that. That is beautiful. Check this out. Pow. Pow. 2 boars right away. He sends another villager, and he could potentially even go for 3 boars over here at the same time if he plays his cards right. And he's going to go for all 3. That is huge. At the very beginning, there are 6 boars at the center over here. So if he ends up collecting 5, that's going to leave only 1 boar left for Dziamdziak to work with. And let's take a look at this, though. The unit control for FreakinAndy's got to be on point. He's got to stay away from the boars over here so he doesn't take any damage, but he's got to stay close enough so at the very least one of the boars still has line of sight. And it seems like he's going to do it. He's doing a really good job. Might end up losing a villager over here, though. Not quite. Good unit control from FreakinAndy. Well done. Well done. And Dziamdziak tried to body block the villager, but couldn't do it. And now FreakinAndy's getting the boars down, and he loses the villager in the end, though. That was so close to perfection for FreakinAndy. This tarnishes what would have been otherwise an impeccable boar lure from FreakinAndy. But realistically, Dziamdziak's gotten so much idle TC time over the red player that it doesn't matter, and the work count's the same for both. Besides all the hunting on the left-hand side, we'll see some water on the right-hand side where players can get access to deep fish. There is a lot over here. We have snappers. And so far, nobody has really tried to make a play for it. Usually, when we see Mongols will try and take advantage of the hunting instead. And then they'll go for Navy when going up to the fuelage, for the most part. Or they'll start going for the dock when going up to the fuelage. So that's what probably we'll see. However, because of all the extra resources FreakinAndy is collecting from the left-hand side with all the boars over here, might just be tempted to fast castle though right away. I guess we'll find out. Dziamdziak, for the most part uncontested, goes to the center and starts collecting some of the deer. There are 24 deer available for players to collect from over here, and so far, Was the only 23 left. I think Dziamdziak might have been the first player to collect the deer fully. And FreakinAndy is going to try to collect deer from here as well. Both players will realize about each other very soon after the males come up from both these guys. And they both try to go for the same deer eventually. But for the time being, they are kind of oblivious about this. They're completely ignorant of the other player's presence at the center. As we see the FLH come up for FreakinAndy, I wonder if he'll go for the dock in the end or not. He is sending the villager, so yes. We see FreakinAndy click out to the FLH, and now he's going to start going for Navy. Meanwhile, Dziamdziak, obviously he's going to struggle a little bit more. He's collecting geese, turkeys actually, now, which is not anywhere near as good as collecting hunt. And with FreakinAndy getting 5 out of 6 boards at the center, it makes sense. So Dziamdziak's taking a little bit longer to go out to the FLH, and he's also getting housed, man. This is awful for the bull players. So far, the game's been going so much smoother for FreakinAndy. But finally, the players realize about each other as Dziamdziak targets FreakinAndy's villages. And now FreakinAndy could potentially turn around and try and pick up the fight. Not going to do it as the scout over here from Dziamdziak still going to tip the scale in favor of the blue player. But FreakinAndy, not the one to walk away, will get barracks up. So he can go for a stable very soon, of course. And he'll start putting pressure against Dziamdziak at the center, yes. Seems like now that Dziamdziak's clicked up to the FLH, he's going for a dock himself. And both players will be fighting very soon, not only on land, but also for water control. There we are. Beautiful. Yeah, this is fantastic. There we go. So in the end, Dziamdziak's going to get away with the walls up over here. Meanwhile, FreakinAndy gets a tower up. Meanwhile, on water, we have one Navy unit from FreakinAndy and nothing from Dziamdziak, as he's still some seconds away from the FLH. So the finish ship over here could potentially go down, although FreakinAndy doesn't seem to realize about it too much. He's going to try and target the villager. That shouldn't really work so long as Dziamdziak's paying attention. The blue player should be fine, but FreakinAndy is retargeting right now. He's going to go after the fishing ship instead. There we go. How's coming out for FreakinAndy down the south. We see a second dog from Dziamdziak, but FreakinAndy, he's still the only player with Navy. He's got more Navy units coming out, and he also has 2 dogs. He's gone for one on the right hand side already, so it's going to be 2 versus 2, and it seems to me like FreakinAndy's lead over here is just too strong. And up in the north, as he managed to breach through the walls, he's already sending some of the scouts over. Find some villagers around the gold mine over here from Dziamdziak, and it seems like he's going to get at the very least 2 villagers by the looks of it. Not quite. Good reaction from Dziamdziak, but still ends up losing a villager. And in water, it seems like FreakinAndy will end up getting full water control over here, won't he? By the looks of it. Yeah, and Dziamdziak realizes about this, so he pulls the villager away. Gets the first fire galley out, and if FreakinAndy pays attention, he should be able to get a better trade. What is FreakinAndy going for? There we go. Realizes about it right now. He's gonna clean this up. He's got a 3rd fire galley coming up. And this is really good, by the way. This is really good from Dziamdziak. He uses the fishing ship over there to sustain the engagement and get a better trade against FreakinAndy, but because of the extra units from the red player, in the end, it's going to be a 1-for-1. So, we have Tomwatch coming up from FreakinAndy. Dziamdziak, on the other hand, he's got more fire galleys on the way. Until we get down the south. There we are. Looking pretty good. Then up in the north, FreakinAndy's roaming around. It's not too bad. It's not too bad for FreakinAndy to speak of. He's managed to pull a very nice villager lead in addition to the military lead. So now he's got both pieces of the puzzle. Usually you don't want to be behind by both, right? In both regards. If Dziamdziak was ahead in the military count, at the very least he would have that to try and go forward and put some pressure and try to catch up to FreakinAndy. But because he's behind in both military and economy, it seems as if FreakinAndy, so long as he plays his cards right over here, should be the one in the lead for sure. He's gotta be careful. The spearman's coming over. Dziamdziak realized he had an exposed villager over there, so he pulls it away. FreakinAndy didn't realize about the villager over there on time to put pressure against it, but he will still end up getting a better engagement over here. Well done. Down the south. FreakinAndy's getting full water control, right? Dziamdziak. He's got some fire galleys over here. Not enough. And if FreakinAndy pays attention over here, should be able to prevent taking any losses. And in the end, it's going to end up losing the fire galley over there, but he should end up still cleaning out the units from Dziamdziak. He's got a higher HP pool. Should be going for more, and he is going for more fire galleys. Meanwhile, Dziamdziak is going for more as well himself. And this is a beautiful positioning for Dziamdziak. He ended up soaking so much damage with a healthy fire galley to sustain his weaker one and get a better trade over there. That should have gone in favor of FreakinAndy, but the unit control, as Dziamdziak was paying attention, favored the blue player a little bit more and allowed him to get a better trade in the end. Up in the north, FreakinAndy is gonna keep on putting pressure as he's got a second stable on the way, and not only that, but he's also on his way to the Castle Age. Dziamdziak, not particularly close. He's got almost enough gold actually, but not anywhere near enough food. By the way, give me a second. I need to talk to Memb. Hold on. There we go. Nice pressure coming in from FreakinAndy. What is he doing? Is he gonna try to target the villagers? What is this? He's getting a house over there. Yeah, I do know about this, man. His villagers are just the same as Dziamdziak's. Man, I do not really know about this from FreakinAndy, but he makes it work! There we go. And Castle Age is here already for FreakinAndy. Well done. Beautiful. There we are. Yeah, and FreakinAndy is just in a world of his own. He's got the 30C and the 40C coming up. There we go. The GG's coming up for Dziamdziak. He realizes there is no way back into this one. FreakinAndy gets a second game over here. That will be a 2-1 score so far. And game number 4 could be already the final one, of course. We'll take a look at that in a moment, but for the time being, let's go through the achievements. And give me 1 second. I need to answer to Mem over here. Anyway. All right, so yeah, the KD was better for FreakinAndy over there. Dziamdziak and Casino, what more can I ask for? Hey, Bone Zone. Hi. For economy, we see a stronger economy for FreakinAndy. He just dominated this game. He did a really good job taking advantage of the map, taking advantage of the civilization, taking advantage of his experience as a Black Forest player as well to go and secure the majority of the boards. That's what allowed him to go out faster as well. So well done. We'll just go for game number 4 in a moment. And here we are again, guys. This could very well be the last game of the series. It seems like OBS is having some seizures again. Give me a second. Does it do anything if I bring the logo up from Warlords and then I take the logo off? Does it do anything? That seemed to have fixed it last time around, and this time around it's not doing it, but it's whatever. Let's go for it anyway. So what do we get? First off, we're going to be switching colors once again. FreakinAndy, we're going to have in the red and Dziamdziak in the blue. And it's going to be Berbers versus Lithuanians for Dziamdziak and FreakinAndy respectively as well. What do we expect over here? Well, Lithuanians, this is an incredible civilization for a map like this because with the extra resources you get, it's a little bit smoother for you to go for water. Because you can focus on wood for the most part early on, right? While for Dziamdziak, playing with Berbers, he does technically have a naval civilization over here, although Berbers are not known to be the strongest of naval civs. They are technically a cavalry and naval civilization, but yeah, it's not really going to represent as huge of a lead as Portuguese or, you know, Italians, maybe Malay or something like Japanese would be. So yeah, or potentially even Saracens. Can ships pass through the middle? They can, yes. Flalacross is a cross map with the rivers connecting each pond. So you're gonna see this pond up in the north connected to the right hand side one, the left hand side one by way of rivers, and then the corner ones will be connected by a diagonal river over here that's going to separate the player's starting position. So technically the players are gonna get access to all of the ponds over here through the river, no matter where they go for fishing. And that means also that there is no safety over here, right? And instead the players will have to pay attention at all times on water, even if there are no enemy docks, sneaky docks coming in on the same pond, you can still get some Navy units come to your fishing ships eventually. One thing that is possible to do for players if they are keen on doing so is potentially dock blocking. So we could see, for instance, the dock coming up over here in the narrow area of this lake, right? Or actually not lake, sorry, of this river, probably around here. And that'll be enough, I think, for dock blocking and preventing the ships from getting, from getting through. So dock block's a classic. And, you know, instead of going for several docks on a back pond, you could potentially go for 2 docks in each river connecting to the pond. So if you go for 1 dock over here and 1 dock over here, you would be able to prevent your opponent from getting to your side, while you would still get access to the other rivers, or to the other ponds rather, through the river. The only problem with going for something like that is that fishing is not anywhere near as efficient, because then your fishing ships need to sail farther away to get access to the shore, to the deep fish. So we're most likely than not going to see standard docks, and FreakinAndy already got the first one up in the north. Meanwhile, Dziamdziak's trying to get the first one down the south. Yeah, and it makes sense because anything else is going to be subpar. A real homie would never dock block a friend. Yeah, well, that's what you always think until it happens, right? Like everyone's cool until they're not anymore, and all of a sudden, pow! You get dock blocked. There we go. It's already up. Hey, Alucard. Hi, hi. So did you guys enjoy the series from Warlords today? I had a pretty good time, and tomorrow's sets are going to be nasty in the best possible way. We're going to be covering all 4 sets tomorrow, starting 14 GMT, and I'm very much looking forward to the first one, to the 4th one as well, and I think the 3rd one is obviously going to be quite interesting as well, with the Viper facing Doubt, right? And the 4th one is going to be MBL versus Hera, and the first one, I think it was Winchester versus Tato, was it? I think. Anyway. So far so good. Will FreakinAndy be the first player to click out to the FLH? Meanwhile, Dziamdziak. Yeah, Dziamdziak is kind of struggling a little bit more. But it seems to me like he's going to try to play for a fast castle over here, which FreakinAndy, with the extra resources he begins with, could have tried to chase as well, a fast castle approach over here, but it seems like he's just going to try to go for fuel pressure. If you take a look at his resources currently, it doesn't seem like he's got anywhere near enough to go for the castle age, right? So it's just going to be full field pressure. I really like Valsa series versus Mr. Yo. Yeah. Yeah. That was quite good. PLH is finally on the way from Dziamdziak. He seems to be juggling his economy to go up. The castle age right away. Welcome everyone. Once again, thank you so much for the follows, guys. Everyone coming to the stream for the first time. I hope you're having a good time. And this is the first set that we are covering, but especially if this is the last game of the set, we're gonna have one more coming up afterwards. That's gonna be Vivi versus Uzi. Alright? From the lower bracket. So this is an elimination set still. So we have an elimination day today from Warlords and from Double Cup 3. For anybody who might want to keep track of this tournament, who might want to keep, you know, track of the series, you can do !VODs, and then on that page, if you try to sort the videos by collection as opposed to by highlights, I think, you should be able to find the Double Cup 3 collection, which contains all the series from Double Cup 3 that I have cast, which I think are all of them. I think I tried to cast all of the series from Double Cup 3, so you'll find them over there, and then you're going to find many of those on my YouTube channel as well coming up eventually, although not 100% of them. For instance, yesterday there was a series in which we had a lot of technical issues. That one's not going up on YouTube, but you can still find the series in my Twitch VOD collection. 3-4 minutes out TC time already, these news. Yeah, it's gotta be news, right? It's not related to the double TC start whatsoever. Wow! Castle should be on the way for Dziamdziak, as we were expecting to see be the case, but FreakinAndy, it's actually done a good job. Take a look at that. It's gonna be on its way to the Castle H as well. This is not what I was expecting whatsoever. Damn! Hey, Rosa. Hi, welcome. This is not what I was expecting to see from FreakinAndy, and he's not really been going for quite as much Navy as I thought he was gonna go for. Although he did manage to get a sneaky dock in front, which is great. So let's see. Dziamdziak's on his way to the Castle H. FreakinAndy's on his way to the Castle H. Dziamdziak's got the Castle H queued up after the Villagers, so FreakinAndy's gonna be there earlier. And FreakinAndy is trying to get a few extra fire galleys before he goes forward and tries to put any pressure. And this is going to be about the only water action we are going to see Dziamdziak. Dziamdziak knows about the fire galley, he doesn't know about the dog, but now he realizes about it. The fire galley is coming out right now from FreakinAndy. Let's see if he can place his cards right. He's gonna try to. Very difficult for him though. Dziamdziak will end up getting the better end of the deal over here. And FreakinAndy needs to go for extra fire galleys from here. And so does Dziamdziak. Meanwhile, on land, we have scouts coming up from the blue player around the map. And FreakinAndy is doing a really good job defending himself. He's got the spearman on the left-hand side. And he's looking good. His defense is fantastic. His defensive, not quite as good. At the moment, the river would be very good, very hard to escape from as well. You cannot really scatter your units too much in the river, so I agree. And especially after Dziamdziak got past the dog from FreakinAndy, FreakinAndy would definitely have wanted to go for a Demo Wrath, but instead he's just going for extra fires. He will be the first player getting to the Castle Age, so we'll see the War Galley upgrade come out for FreakinAndy most likely. Yes. And the extra fire galley is coming over the right hand side, so he's going to have stronger units too. Coming in from both sides and pinching Dziamdziak's lake down the south. Villager goes down though from FreakinAndy. Good snipe from the blue player. So far these scouts have gotten 2 villagers. The only 2 villager kills in this game. Meanwhile, FreakinAndy is gonna start going for knights. What does he have? He's got a 4 villager. Oh! And he got a 4 duck. A sneaky duck up over here. This is huge. Only 5 seconds from now. FreakinAndy is gonna be on the war galley upgrade. So he's got fire ships as opposed to fire galleys. He's got demolition ships as opposed to demolition rafts if he goes for those. Should be able to get full water control in Dziamdziak. Dziamjak's not looking great. The knight's coming over from FreakinAndy as well. He might be able to start getting some villagers down in addition to the fishing ships. That's going to be additional eco damage from FreakinAndy, but he's got to defend himself on the back to make sure that he does not take any extra villager losses to the scouts from Dziamdziak, and so far he's done a really good job. Scouts get taken down from the blue player, and that's about it. Here we are. Fantastic. Yeah, and you know, FreakinAndy, he's got Sanctity on the way, so he's making a play for monks in addition to the knights. And he's playing Lithuanians, so it makes sense. After all, if he starts collecting some of the relics, that's going to give him extra attack on the knights. With up to +4 for 4 relics collected. For the time being, it's going to utilize these monks for defense, so we'll see a conversion coming up over there. There we go. Trying to get the conversion over there. Trying to target the higher HP knight, of course. Beautiful defense for FreakinAndy. Fantastic. When will he start collecting the relics though? There is one on the back on the left hand side. There is one forward on the right hand side. And then the rest will be towards the south, I think. We have one over here favoring Dziamdziak. We have one on the left hand side over here favoring Dziamdziak. And then it seems like the 5th one's going to be towards the south, kind of favoring Dziamdziak as well. Everything is an arena strat apparently. If you try hard enough, you can make arena out of any maps. There we go. So far, so good. 30C, 40C on the way for Dziamdziak. 40C on the way for FreakinAndy, and the game's kind of stabilized. Although Dziamjak's still looking stronger, so the game's stabilized with a lead for the red player already. Oh, the TC's not coming up though from Dziamdziak. And these villagers go down. This is huge. FreakinAndy, he should get his own TC up, right? He will, so that's gonna be 4 TCs for him versus only 3 from Dziamdziak, and the lead over here that FreakinAndy's got, it's gonna start taking advantage of already, and he's got more knights coming up. He's got the monks finally collecting the relics. That's gonna be extra attack for free on these knights. +2 if he ends up getting 2 relics. So far it's just going for the 1. This engagement though still seems to favor the red player, so that means he'll be the one putting pressure for the most part in the immediate future, and it seems like Dziamdziak is most likely not going to end up having to call it, because this time FreakinAndy's lead is substantial enough. But Dziamjak's gonna struggle to come back, and if both players play this one well, FreakinAndy should definitely be the one to take the game, so it's his game to lose. While Dziamdziak is gonna struggle. Why Blue not going for monks too? He could go for monks, he's just chosen not to. He gets 15% cheaper stable units, so I guess maybe he's kind of banking on the bonus to try and outproduce FreakinAndy, but it's been difficult. Also with all the conversions that FreakinAndy's managed to get so far, and all the monks that we have still left for the red player, it's unlikely that a cavalry only approach from Dziamdziak is going to work. So we'll see him making a transition to scout cavalry, going for the light cavalry upgrade, but it seems like a drop in the bucket now. FreakinAndy's charging the conversions with the stables. If we see any units coming out from the stable, we'll see the conversions instantly hit. So there we go. Yeah, he's getting the scout cavalry over there, and there isn't too much really for Dziamdziak to do over here, honestly. He's gonna have to delete the stable over there. Hey, our base! He's over too. This doesn't seem like it's going to continue for much longer. If FreakinAndy plays his cards right, this is going to be over in the next 5 minutes tops. And, well, that is perhaps not the best set that we have seen, but will give us enough time to go for yet another set. The 4th set of the day. And what will we go for? In that case, we'll do... Here we go. If we have a 4th set, we'll do VV versus Uzi to be completely caught up with Double Cup 3. So we are completely caught up for Warlords, and we are completely caught up for Double Cup 3 as well. Yeah, man, Dziamdziak's gonna keep on trying. This is the lower bracket, right? So if anybody loses over here, they get knocked out of the tournament, and this is Dziamdziak's life on the line, tournament life on the line. Well, FreakinAndy, it would take some pretty big mistakes for FreakinAndy to throw this game. So it seems to me as if he's gonna be the one moving on. Bloodland's coming out for him right now, and still would like to see the red player try to prioritize the relics a little bit more. Yeah, man, and funny decision to go for monks on this map, but he's making it work really well. And take a look at that! Another instant conversion from FreakinAndy! My lord! Dziamdziak's scouts are not really doing much of anything. He will end up taking many of the monks down over there, but he's not stopping this pressure whatsoever. FreakinAndy keeps on going for more monks. Now this, it seems to be like it could be a little bit of a throw from FreakinAndy if he ends up just committing to full monks against a full light cavalry army from Dziamdziak. We need to see more knights. We need to see more units, more power units from FreakinAndy, not just monks. He's boom now. He is. He's in a pretty good spot. He should be able to go for whatever he wants from this point onwards. His economy is already strong. Both floating wood. FreakinAndy's going to try to fix that. He's going for an extra TC down the south. Going for a barracks. He's going to start adding some pikemen into the mix. And finally, we see FreakinAndy start going for some knights once again. And well, he still has a very strong population lead over Dziamdziak. Kind of struggling to seal the deal over here, and the bull player is getting away with a lot more than he should be getting away with because the commitment to monks that FreakinAndy has been going for the most part up until now. Nice mango shots over there from FreakinAndy though, gets a few villages down. Got the strike coming out for Dziamdziak. There's a lot to catch up with over here. Dziamdziak's worker count is significantly lower, about 53 workers lower compared to FreakinAndy. Not good. I don't think these 3 units are gonna be taking 50 villages anytime soon. FreakinAndy is also going for pressure himself, so very soon we could see Dziamdziak end up losing a few more villages himself. Which would kind of put him further behind, right? Nice, right hand side. That's what I'm talking about. FreakinAndy's aggression is not over. So Dziamdziak's gotta keep on trying to put pressure himself, but at the same time, he's gotta take care of this, and he's not. He's not realizing about these villages at all. Take a look at that. He's garrisoning the villages around the TC, but the villages in the woodland over here, so many losses, so many dead bodies. These knights have gotten 10 villages down so far, and it's gotta be over, guys. 64 population. Dziamdziak is stuck underneath his TC. His economy is not anywhere near as strong as it could be. And FreakinAndy's dominating. He's gonna bring the knights over here. He's got already chain bar and armor, so if he brings enough, he should be able to dive underneath the TC and still get the villagers exposed from Dziamdziak and fully extend or further extend his villager lead. So at this point in time, we'll see a better than 2 times the population for FreakinAndy compared to Dziamdziak. How good is that? Amazing. we go. TC goes down on the left-hand side. So now Dziamdziak. He's left and 2 TCs only on the right-hand side. Doesn't really have enough garrison space over here for his entire economy, of course. With 47 villagers and 2 TCs, he can only garrison 30 at a time. So if FreakinAndy just commits and goes and dives, it just kills. And Dziamdziak, I'm surprised as to why he's not called a GG so far. I guess he's, you know, this player being a warrior is gonna keep on trying a little bit longer, but realistically, the chances of a comeback over here from Dziamdziak are basically relying on FreakinAndy losing power or something. Yeah, nice conversions over here from Dziamdziak, but he takes 2 monks on the, he gets 2 knights on the right hand side with conversions, and then he's gotta worry about how many knights on the left hand side. 12 knights on the left hand side coming in from FreakinAndy, right? There's too many fires to put out, and Dziamdziak's just not really gonna be able to do so. So with this 4 castle, FreakinAndy further cements his lead. And I would imagine probably with the castle coming out, Dziamdziak would end up calling the GG, as this castle is going to be a fantastic... Yeah, there we go, it doesn't even wait for it. And the castle will be a fantastic stepping stone around which FreakinAndy will be able to keep on extending his push. So the GG's call, good luck next, Dziamdziak says. That's going to be 2-1, and after this game, 3-1 final score for FreakinAndy. Well done. And for game number 5, we're gonna have the first game of the next series. So don't go anywhere. Uzi versus Vivi's coming up, and with that series, we'll be completely caught up for Double Cup 3. Let's go through the achievements of this one first. Very nice KD for Dziamdziak. In the end, he ends up getting a better than 1-to-1 KD ratio. It's going to be about 21-20. Doesn't matter. Most likely not. Why? Because of this. Economy was so one-sided in favor of FreakinAndy that not getting a better than 1-to-1 KD ratio doesn't really matter for him, because he can honestly afford to go for so many extra units. He can afford to lose a few extra units and still stay ahead. Fueled by a much stronger economy as well. And then for APM, it's a little bit higher for Dziamdziak. This goes to show speed is not everything.